Now in the HTML you will see that there is a volunteer space. So all the volunteers you will see here, the volunteer photo, his name, and he is a volunteer, or his designation for example is given here. Also the social media icons are given here. If I click on any volunteer, then you will see that this is the volunteer detail. So there is a biography, and the social media are also here, but with that there is a phone, email address, etc. Basic information are given. Okay, so what I can do, I can now go to implement this section. So I will work with the volunteers, this section now. So for that reason I am going now to create a table. So for that table I will create migration first, php artisan make migration, and then I will create volunteers table. Okay, so this will be a migration file. So you see in the database migrations, in the bottom there is a file created, that is volunteers. And what will be the volunteers information? For example, volunteers first string is volunteer name, so this is the basic thing. Then there will be a designation or profession, whatever you want you can give here, so no problem. So you can give here a profession, that is good. The volunteer image, actually this will be a photo, and the photo must be given here, so not nullable. Profession can be nullable or not nullable. I am going to make everything not nullable. Okay, so there is a Facebook account, and then there is a Twitter. I am going to check what are the icons here, that is Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So there will be another one, LinkedIn, and there will be Instagram. So name, profession, photo, and this information. So I am going back, name, photo, profession, and social icons. Okay, now in the detail page there are many other information like address, email address, phone, website. So 4 more items here, that is address, that is here for example address, then there will be email, then there will be phone, then there will be website, and not a status. Another one is description, that is detail, but the detail will be actually here text type, because the detail information will be given here. So address is string. Okay, if you want you can make it also text. Email, phone is string, that is good. And you can make the biography if you want. It can be happen that a volunteer does not have any biography, so you can just make the detail or biography here. You can make it nullable, so like this. And website can also be nullable, so here I am going to make it nullable. Phone, email, address can also be nullable field. I am going to make all other information nullable, that is nullable. And phone can also be nullable. And the social media of course must be nullable, because a volunteer can be such type where there is no social media, who has no social media. So these 3 are mandatory, that is name, profession, photo. These are the mandatory, and all other fields are nullable here. So I think all the items are given here, nothing is rest. Okay, so no problem. So this is done for now. I am now going to create the table php artisan migrate. So create the table now. So the table is created. I am going to check it. So here you will see that in the charity project there is a volunteers table, and all the data you see comes here. Name, profession, and photo, these 3 are not null, and all other fields are nullable. Okay, so I will have to create the other things now. This is done. Now I am going to create model. So php artisan, then make model, so like this, and then volunteer. So volunteer model is created. I am now going to create a controller, php artisan make controller, make controller, then into the admin I will create admin volunteer controller. So I create a admin volunteer controller here. So here I will put all the functions, and in the top I will use app models volunteer. Okay, and here I will put other items. For example, as an example, I am going to copy the testimonial. Here you see in the testimonial, these are the functions. I am going to copy all the functions from the testimonial and put it here in my volunteer controller in the admin. So from the volunteer table I will get all the data like this, and here I will put volunteers, and this one section, actually there is no section, I am going to remove volunteers. So here it will be volunteer.index and volunteers information I will pass into the blade view. So in the admin folder I will create a volunteer folder. So I am going to my resources admin, into the admin, in the view resources views admin, here I will create volunteer, this folder, and under volunteer I will create index.blade.php, this one. Then I will create edit.blade.php, and another one will be create.blade.php. So total 3 items I added here. So when a person will click on the volunteer from the admin panel, so I am going to do that task now, that is in the layout sidebar. I am going to add another information here, that is volunteer. So here I will write volunteer, and here will be admin volunteer, admin volunteer index, and here it will be volunteers, this section. So when he will click here, it will go to the route, and in the route I will call the controller in the top, that is volunteer controller. So volunteer controller. Okay, and here after the testimonial, or what I did in the case of FAQ, so same thing I am going to do here. So I am going to copy and paste it here. So here it will be admin volunteer controller, so volunteer controller, and here all the FAQ will be replaced by volunteer. So like this. So now I am going to write the context, to write the content in the index.blade.php. Okay, so from where I will bring the text, that is from the testimonial. For example, I am going to copy all the data from the testimonial index file, and here I am going to paste it. Okay, so this is the testimonial data, and this one will not be here, remove, and the top section I do not need, I am going to remove it. Okay, so this will be actually all the volunteers list in this space, volunteers, and here admin volunteer create, and here the volunteer photo name designation will be shown, that is perfect. So here it will be volunteers, and here the singular form, that is volunteer. The photo will be here, that is volunteer photo, and here will be volunteer name, and actually not designation, that is actually profession, right? Profession. So here instead of designation I will call it profession, and here it will be profession like this. Okay, and here instead of testimonial I will write volunteer in all places. Okay, perfect. So volunteer, this section is done, and this is done. Okay, so now let's go to the admin panel, refresh. I am going to log in here again, admin@gmail.com, password is password, and now you see in the left side volunteers. If I click here, you see admin volunteer controller does not exist. Why? What is the name of the volunteer? What is the problem? Admin volunteer controller. Now let's check it. If I make any mistake, controller, sorry, it will be controller, not controller. So R missing here, so I change the name Here I also change the name controller. Okay, so now it should work. Now let's try refresh. Yes, it is working. So this is the all the volunteer data will be here, and there is the add new button. So if I click on add new, the create will work, but here you see the create testimonial, actually not create testimonial. Here it will take you to the volunteer create. So what I have to change here, that is admin volunteer create. Now if you refresh, you will see there is no page because my page is empty, that is create.blade.php. So I am going to open the testimonial create.blade.php, copy data from there, and in my volunteer section I am going to paste it. So this will be create volunteer. Okay, so new volunteer I will create here. So here volunteer index, in order to back to the view all page, and this is volunteer, and then there is a photo. So enc type will be here, name is okay, designation not designation, this is profession, and here I will have to write the profession. Here I will do one thing, that is as there will be many fields, so if a person mistake to write data into any field, so that in other fields the data should not be empty, the previous data will be saved. So here I am going to bring another extra field, that is value, and here I will use the old function. So here this will be the name. So the similar thing I am going to do for the profession. So old will be here profession. So this is name and profession, and the text area will be actually the detail. So about him, detail is 200 I can give here, and here this will be detail, and here will be word, that will be detail. So like this, and the photo will be in the bottom, that is no problem. So if I want, I can put the photo to the top, it is better for looking, I think. So I put the photo in the top, then name, profession, and what are the mandatory other fields here. Name, profession and photo, these three are actually the mandatory. So photo, name, profession. Detail is not mandatory, so I remove the asterisk mark here. Now I am going to check what are the other fields. Now there are some social icons here, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and address, email, etc. given. So it is better to put the other fields top, that means address, email, phone, website. So I put here address, email, phone, website. So here will be address, and this is address, then there will be email. So email address will be here, so here it will be email. Then there is phone, so here this will be phone, and here it will be phone, and then the last one here is website. So website is here, and here I give website, and then after that the social icons I will give here. For example, Facebook, so like this. So here is Facebook, and then after that there will be Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. So Twitter, here will be Twitter, then there will be LinkedIn, and here will be LinkedIn, and after that Instagram, Facebook, two Facebook counts. Okay, cut on from here. So Facebook, then Twitter, LinkedIn, and here will be Instagram. So here it will be Instagram, and then detail is here, because here is detail. Okay, but nothing will be mandatory here, so I am going to remove the asterisk mark from here. Email, phone, website, address. Okay, so all the data after submit will come in the controller here, that is create submit. So here I am going to put all my fields. The photo is actually mandatory, so it is okay. So name, then profession, name, profession, then photo, and comment. So here are total 3 fields mandatory, that is name, profession and photo, and all other fields I will have to call here, that is volunteer, and here this will be volunteer. So like this, and name, then profession, so name is okay, here profession, and then there is photo. So here all I am going to replace by this. Photo will be final name, that means this. So move from the photo to the path, and the photo name will be replaced by this. That is perfect. Now I am going to apply other items, that is this is detail. So name, profession, photo, detail, and all other fields I will apply here now. So what are the other fields? Here volunteer, this will be address. So this is address. Here I am going to put address. So after address there is phone, there is email, then what are the other things? Email in the top, address, email, phone, and then there is website. So here I put website, and after website there is Facebook, right? So here it will be Facebook. So like this. After Facebook there is Twitter, LinkedIn, and the last one is Instagram. So these are actually all the information, and then in the bottom I am going to put volunteer. It will take me to the volunteer page, and volunteer is created successfully. This will be shown. So let's check it. I am going to refresh. You see all the volunteer data comes here. In the same line, if you want, you can put 2 items. Here let's check how many items. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, 10 items. So that is a very good combination here. It will look good. So here I am going to put the row. It will be row here, that is called MD6, 2 items. Okay, so like this. So this is a set. Here will be total 5 sets. So I am going to copy and paste it on 2 3 4 5. So now I am going to cut the items. So first is name, I put it into here. Then there is a profession, I cut and put it here. Then there is address, I cut and then I put it here. And then there is a email, I cut from here and put it here. Then there is phone, I cut and put it here. Then there is website, cut and place here. Then there is a Facebook will be here. And then there is Twitter will be here. LinkedIn, cut and paste it here. And the last item is Instagram, I paste it here. Detail will be into full wide, no problem. And lastly it will be submit. If I refresh, you will see it looks very good now. Name, profession, address, email, phone, and all other items are here. Okay, so if it is working or not, let's check it. I am going to the volunteers, pet fill in, that is okay. I am going to put his name here. For example, what I did in the old, you will understand. If I click here, there is error, right? But you see this is not removed. So this is very helpful. This will be stored, that is in the previously. So here I am going to copy and paste the data from here, that is I am going to open anyone. He is, for example, the designation is volunteer, no problem. I am going to put volunteer and address is this. Email is, for example, this. I am going to put here, that is email. Phone is, I am going to give anything. Website, here for example this is the website, like this. Facebook, for example, hash I give, or if you want you can put the detail. And here the biography, and here I am going to copy the biography and paste it here. Okay, so like this. So click on submit, you will see the photo is required, but all the data I put here, you see that is not removed from here, right? So this is very helpful. So I am going to select the photo now. For example, this is the photo. I am going to submit. You see the volunteer is added. If I go to the public folder and uploads folder, you will see volunteer underscore this one. So he is added. So all the data from this for this particular volunteer, all the field data is inserted here, you see. So it is actually working here. Now I am going to edit the volunteer. So in order to edit the volunteer, I am going to add some more ones. Okay, so like this one, like this person, I am going back to the HTML. Some random items I am going to put here. That is another person, for example, and another photo here. That can be this one, open photo. Profession is volunteer, for example, and there is address. What can be the address? I can put the same one or something like that. Same address, no problem. Email will be David Beckham. So David. Phone is this. Website is this. No website, for example. Facebook, this one, and detail. So detail, I am going to put lorem ipsum text. So generate the lorem ipsum now. For example, here I am going to give 20 paragraphs, generate. Okay, so from here I am going to copy and paste the data here, that is this one, and then submit. So second one is added. Another one, and I am going to add here as a volunteer, that is team 3. This person is okay. What can be his name? The name is, for example, Peter Smith. So like this. Profession volunteer. Email is Peter. Address is this. Phone, website, and here is Facebook, LinkedIn, all data, and the detail is, for example, this. Submit. So 3 persons I added here, and another one, for example, Brain Grandi. This person I am going to add here. Profession volunteer. Email is Brent. Address is this. Phone. So all other information I am going to add here like this, and detail I am going to copy another paragraph, and I am going to submit. The photo is required, so I am going to give another photo here, submit. So this data, 4 person data I added here. Now I am going to add another one. Okay, so here, for example, any data I am going to give, for example this one, I put in all the places like this. And here I can add any type of photo. For example, this is the photo, or this is the photo. Open, submit. This is a sample data because I will edit this one now. Okay, so in order to edit the data here, I am going to the edit function in the volunteer controller, and here this will be volunteer, this will be volunteer, and here it will be volunteer, and this volunteer will be here also. And now I am going to the page, that is edit.blade.php, and from testimonial edit I am going to copy all the data from there, and in my edit I am going to paste it. So edit volunteer will be here, and this will be volunteer index. Okay, and this will be volunteer edit, and this is volunteer. But here in this form I will actually change the information. Okay, so photo item I am going to cut it, and in the top I am going to give the photo, that is volunteer photo, and if he want to change the photo, he will come here. But the fields after that, here I will change from here to here. I am going to remove it. I am going to the create, and in the create there are some information after photo, that is from this row. So I am going to copy all the data from here, and in the edit I am going to paste it. Okay, instead of old, what I will do here, the value will not be like this, it will be volunteer name. So this is the value. So in the case of name, and in the case of profession, it will be volunteer profession. And then after that, address, this is the volunteer address. After that, email, this is the volunteer email. Then there is a volunteer phone, this is the phone. The website, this is the volunteer website. And then there are some more information, that is Facebook. Then there is a Twitter. Then there is a LinkedIn. And then there is a Instagram. So like this. And detail will be detail. So volunteer detail will be the existing data. Lastly, it will be updated. And when the update will be submit, then it will come here. You know, the previously name, profession, these two were here. So similarly, in the submit, I will have this one, name and profession. And here will be volunteer. This will be volunteer. And if the photo is not equal to null, that means if a person want to upload any file, then I will check if that file is a photo or not. So that check will be here. And here will be the volunteer photo. The existing volunteer photo will be unlinked, and then the new volunteer photo will be uploaded here in this location, that is public path uploads, then by this name. And here it will be volunteer photo equal to final name. And other information will be here, that will be like this, what are given here. So I am going to copy up to detail. So except photo, other items are like this here. So volunteer name equal to name, profession, address, etc. are given here. Finally, then volunteer update, and here it will be volunteer updated successfully. And in the case of delete, I will do the same thing, that is the volunteer, from volunteer I am going to check all the data where the ID equal to this. So volunteer data I get here, and I will now unlink the photo, and then the volunteer will be deleted from the database table. And lastly, here I will write that volunteer deleted successfully. So it should work. So let's check it. If I go to the table, you see there are total 5 volunteers. So last one I am going to be updated. I am going to update. And what is the photo in the case of last one? I am going to show you, that is into my public folder. There is the uploads folder, and here if you go to the bottom, you will see that this is the 5th volunteer, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the 5th one. So this photo will be deleted when I will delete. But update, in the case of update, I will check first. So click here, you will see the existing photo is this, and all other information are given here. So instead of this, I am going now to change it by this. All the data will be BB where there was AA. I am going to remove, I am going to change. And the photo I am also going to change. For example, this is the volunteer photo. Update, you see the photo is updated and all the data is updated. If I refresh, you will see the BB is showing. And if I go to the folder, you will see the 5th one, 1, 2, 3, 4 is okay. The 5th one photo is changed. So that means this is uploaded and the previous one is removed. Now I will delete it. Okay, so from here I am going back. When the data is updated, then I am going to make him back to the admin volunteer index route. I will send that user. So if I refresh this page, if I click on update, after update it will back to this page. Now I will delete it. So if I click on delete, are you sure? Okay, you see volunteer deleted successfully, that is not here. If I go here, refresh, you see the 5th one is deleted. And if I go to the folder, you will see only the 4 items are here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 5th item is not here, that is removed from the folder. Now I am going to show these volunteer data into my volunteer space, but actually I did not create any volunteer space, right? in my HTML actually this volunteer space is available. So what I will do, I will have to create a controller that's name will be volunteer controller in the home, that means into the front folder. So I am going to create that. So php artisan make controller, then into the front folder I am going to create volunteer controller, right? So volunteer controller, yes, so let's make it, yes, that is created. If I go here, you will see this is the volunteer controller, and here I will use app models volunteer. So from the FAQ controller, what I did, I am going to copy the data from the FAQ controller, and here I am going to paste it. So from the volunteer model, that means using the volunteer model, from the volunteers table I am going to pull the data, that is all the volunteers information, and that I will pass into the view using the compact, and I will have to create a volunteers blade file. So I will have to create two blade file, one is volunteer and another one will be volunteer detail. So I can easily call it volunteers and another one can be volunteer, okay, no problem. So here this is volunteers. I am just going here to the view now. So let's go. These are the admin. I am going to close it. Okay. So in the front there is you see there are some blade files. So I am going to create a new one, that is volunteers.blade.php, and another one I will create into front, that is volunteer.blade.php, two blade files. So into the volunteers I will work first, and here you see I am going to close this one, I am going to close these files. Okay, so where is my controller? I closed it. No, in the front this is my controller. Okay, so here the volunteers data I am going to pass into here, that means into volunteers blade. So into the volunteers blade file, what I will do, here one is index file and another one I will create, that is detail. So detail will be here, that will have a ID, volunteer ID, but I am going to show you that later. First I am going to create the volunteer controller for the front. So in the top I am going to copy the FAQ controller, and here I am going to rename it volunteer controller, and then here I am coming and here it will be volunteers. So this will be volunteers and this will be volunteer controller, and index is the file, and this will be volunteers. Okay, so I am going to open the nav now. So into the front, into the layouts, there is a nav, and in the nav, where is volunteers? This is volunteers. So here I am going to create to call it out, that is volunteers. Perfect. Now I am going to here home page. If I click volunteers, nothing here because I did not put anything here, it is empty. I am now going to the front end, and that front end is actually in my desktop. Front end is HTML. Where is volunteers? This one. So this one I am going to open here, and all the volunteers data that will be here, paste top, and then this is the team. So here I am going to copy the data from here, and then into my volunteer controller I am going to paste it. But here one thing missing, that is in the FAQ page, this is actually the layout. So here in the top I am going to paste it, and this is end section. So okay, this is the main content holder, and here all the volunteers will come here now. So I have the volunteer data in my hand, and you see these are repeated, like these segments are repeating in order to show is volunteer, particular volunteer. So here I am going to use for is and volunteers as volunteer, and loop will be ended here, that is end for is. Other items that will be shown in this page I am going to remove from here. These are the static contents, I do not need those. So I am going to remove all the volunteers from here. So this section will now be dynamic. So in the case of photo, I have the volunteer photo in my hand, and so here I call the asset, and here uploads, and into the uploads there is volunteer of photo. So like this. So this is the volunteer photo, and there is volunteer HTML, not this is actually the volunteer name. So here I call volunteer name, and then there will be volunteer like this. This is volunteer profession. So volunteer profession will be here, and the social URL, that means this one will be here. So I am going to paste, that will be URL, that is volunteer Facebook. This will be the volunteer Twitter. This will be the volunteer LinkedIn, and the last one will be volunteer Instagram. So like this. But the Facebook icon will only be shown if this volunteer has the Facebook in the Facebook field. If there is any information, only then it will be shown. So here I can check if the volunteer Facebook not equal to empty, then only this one will be shown here. Similarly, if the volunteer Twitter not equal to empty, then it will be shown here. If similarly the volunteer LinkedIn not equal to empty, then it will be shown here. And similarly, if the Instagram not equal to empty, it will be shown here. So my task is actually done. Okay, so volunteer name, profession, photo, everything should work now. I am going to refresh. Yes, it is working. You see all the data here showing that are dynamic data. Okay, so if anything missing here, for example, I am going to the volunteer section, I am going to edit something. For example, for the first one, the Facebook Twitter, he does not have any Twitter, so update. Okay, so now if I refresh, you see Twitter is not here. The second one, for example, I want to remove the Facebook from here, so it is empty, and if I refresh, you will see the Facebook is not here, and other two items, other two persons have those items. Now I hope you have understood how I have controlled this. Now I am going back, and I am going to bring the information back. So I all the items, 4 icons will look good. Okay, so I am going to bring it back. So okay, refresh it backs now, and there is heading missing. You see there was a header, but here header missing. I am going to fix the header now, and here before here I am going to copy the FAQ header from here, and in my volunteers paste it, and here it will be volunteers. Okay, and here it will be volunteers. Okay, home volunteers, that is perfect. So refresh, it comes back again. But here is one thing, if there are many volunteers, for example hundreds of volunteers, so in the first page how many volunteers will be shown, I will control it using the pagination. Okay, so in order to control it by the pagination, instead of get, I will use paginate. So here for example 2 items will be shown. So if I give 2 items, and here you will see 2 items, but I will have to make a pagination links to the bottom. So I am going to the volunteers blade file, and where the loop ends, after that I am going to call md then 12, and here I am going to use the pagination. That means the volunteers and then link. So I am going to refresh, probably it will be links, not link. Yes, you see previous and next. But in the case of Bootstrap, actually it is an error, right? Here you see a big error comes. So in order to fix that, I will do one thing. I will open here I will open the providers, and you see there is a app service provider, and from here I will fix the information. So in order to fix the information, I am going to do one thing. You see use illuminate service provider, that is okay. Here I am going to add one thing, that is use, and for the pagination I will have to use the illuminate, that is okay, but not support here illuminate. Then I will use pagination, illuminate pagination, then paginator. Okay, illuminate, pagination, paginator. And in the void that is under the boot, not here, here I will have to use the paginator of use bootstrap. If I use that, if I refresh, you will see the link is fixed. Though there will be some bootstrap functionalities in order to fix the information, but you see the basic one is fixed. So if you click on 2, it is going to the 2. If you click on 1, it is coming to the 1. But you can fix that because there is a class. If you want, you can define a class and fix that. Here by default you see the bootstrap pagination class comes, that is ul class equal to pagination. And here why round comes, this is okay. Team ul liuc. So this one is actually changing the default behavior. So in order to fix that, I will have to call I can change it. One is okay, for example 2. This one I will have to change, that means the page link. So ul.lia, so that is the pagination, ul.pagination. I am going to change the CSS a little bit. So I am going to the public, then dist of front, no not front, yes front, dist of front CSS, and there is a style.css. so I am going to the bottom and I will have to use the pagination, that is pagination. And here you see this is ul.pagination. okay, so ul.pagination and lia. So here what I used, that is the background border radius. So I stop the border radius 0. If I put like that, refresh, you see now it is 0, no border radius. And here height and wide, if I give here height auto, then let's check how it looks like. Yes, now the full height comes here. I think there is a padding or something like that here. Line height, so line height I am going to make normal. So yes, it looks good now too. And here I am going to inspect it. If there is any line height, that is active, it is active. Margin left, so here I can do one thing that is better. I am going to do to fix why height. I'm going to make it fix. Okay, so height, for example 30 pixel is okay. Important, I put it important. Let's check it. Yes, but the first one is not working. The first one is actually the border color page link, that is li span, right? So lia and li span. So in both cases, here it is a span. I am going to put the height here. So let's check it. Yeah, the same height. So I am going to increase the height now. So height is, for example 40 pixel and line height equal to 40 pixel, for example. Important. So the similar thing I am going to put here, and this is 40 pixel. So like this. So refresh it. Yes, but the text comes here. Height, line height, padding, there are some padding is the problem. So padding top, padding bottom. So I am going to put here padding top 0, padding bottom 0. So important, and here important. So sorry, I am going again bottom, and from here copy this one and paste it here. So refresh it. So it looks better now. Okay, so that is perfect. So this is the pagination. If I click on 2, it is taking me to the second page. You can style it, no problem. This one is not working, this one will work. So the leftmost will have no link and the rightmost item will have no link when I will be in the last page. So this is a very basic pagination. I hope you understand. Now after how many items the pagination will be shown, I will control that. So actually for the testing purpose I used here only the 2, but in the real life actually not 2. I want to show, for example, 12 items in the first page or 20. 4 means total 5 rows, so 20 items. Okay, that's better. So all are showing here now, and up to 20 items there will be no pagination. If there is 21 items, then the pagination will work. Start from there. So I hope you have understood. Now the click, and I want to show how it comes for the volunteer detail page, right? So then my next step is to show you the volunteer detail page. Now I am going to work with the volunteer detail page. That means if I click on any volunteer, then his detail will be shown. That you see here in the HTML, that if I click any person, it is taking me to the detail page that is here. So in my case, I will have to create that type of thing. That is, I already created detail function, you see, but the functionality is not set up here. I will now set up the functionality. Okay, so in the web.php there is volunteers, and I am going to create another route here that will be only volunteer, and here it will be detail, and here it will be volunteer, and then a dynamic attribute that will be changed, that is ID. So when a person will go to the detail function, that means he will have a parameter here. So what will be the parameter? I am now going to close the styles from here, FAQs. Okay, so in the volunteer detail here I give the parameter as ID. So from the volunteer table I will get the data where the ID is equal to here ID, and here I am going to get the first, and this will be a particular volunteer, so I am going to use the singular name, and it will take me to the volunteer page, and compact will be the volunteer, single volunteer. Very simple. I have a volunteer blade. You see, this is the volunteers blade. So similarly I have a volunteer blade, so I am going there, and here like the volunteers blade I am going to copy this section from here and paste it here, and in the bottom I am going to give end section, and this data after that will be changed. I am going to open the HTML now, and in the HTML there is actually the front end HTML, there is a volunteer.html. I am going to bring it here. Now I am going to copy the team single page. Actually this is the item, so I am going to copy the data from here, and in my volunteer blade I am going to paste it. Okay, so this is the single volunteer item, and here in the breadcrumb I will have to change something. That means here one extra thing will come here, that is actually this one, like this. So in the volunteer blade, okay, not volunteers, volunteer blade, here I am going to paste these two items. Okay, so volunteers, here I already have a route, you know, so here I am going to give the route name, that is volunteers, and volunteers, and here will be the volunteer name. So I have the data in the volunteer variable for that particular row, so I can easily show that here, that is volunteer name will be shown here. So let's check if it is working or not. I am going to refresh, but here I will have to create a link also. So I am going to the volunteers blade, and here you see particular in the case of particular volunteer there was volunteer.html. So I will have to give here instead of that, that is volunteer route, and it will have a parameter. So that parameter is ID. So volunteer of ID here, right? So now if I refresh, you see each volunteer has a particular ID. For example, I want to see his information. Click here, you see volunteer, then 1. So this page comes, and if I click here, it go back to the previous page. And here when I click here, his name should be come here in the top, and here pet fill in is showing, so it is working. So the same thing what I did here in the case of volunteer name, I am going to copy, and in the top instead of volunteers I put the data. Now if I want to refresh, you see the pet fill in comes here. Okay, perfect. And this data I will have to make now dynamic. So in order to make those data dynamic, here this is the name I put here, this is the profession. So here I will have to write profession, and here profession like this. Address will be here, that will be into address. Email address will be here, so like email, and then there is phone, it will be into the phone variable, and website. So here I will have to apply a trick, but in all the cases I will have to apply that, but no problem, I am going to change it now. That is the volunteer website, target blank is okay, and this will be the website. So website. And social media, here I will put that is the volunteer Facebook now here, and here it will be volunteer Twitter, and then after that it will be LinkedIn profile, so LinkedIn, and after that there will be a Instagram here. And in every case, okay, I am coming here, and here is a biography or detail. You can biography or detail I can write here, not biography, and all that data that will come here, that will be like this one, and this is detail. Okay, so if I now refresh this page, you will see the detail coming here, but here I will have to write like this. So you see it is now showing perfectly. And here the photo missing, I did not put the photo here, so here I am going to use the asset function, and then there is uploads, and then volunteer of photo here. Now refresh, you see the volunteer photo comes here, and all other information is showing here perfectly. Okay, now for the optional fields I will have to give the data. For example, if the volunteer has no detail, so this section should not show. So here I am going to check if the volunteer detail not equal to empty, then only this section will be shown. So similar thing I will apply in all cases. Name is mandatory and profession is mandatory, but all other after that, that is volunteer address not equal to empty, then end if. And if the volunteer, like the volunteer address, if the email, here I will put the volunteer email not equal to empty, then end if. And if the phone not equal to empty, then this one. And website, this is volunteer website, and then it will be shown. And social media, so similarly I will put here, that is if Facebook not equal to empty, then Facebook will be shown. If Twitter not equal to empty, then it will be shown. If LinkedIn not equal to empty, then it will be shown. And if Instagram not equal to empty, then Instagram will be shown. So let's check it, refresh. You see in this case website showing, but I am going back, and other place in other for the other volunteer, he has no website, so I go here, you see the website is missing here, there is no website. So what you will give, that will be shown. Okay, so I can go to any page. Brent Gandhi, he is another one. His email, you see this is Brent, his email is this, his name is this is his biography. If I go here, you will see that he is another person, another photo. So it is actually working perfectly.